Welcome to Hockey Nights in Vegas. My name is Eddie Rivkin. I'm joined by the next Premier. I'm joined by the next Prime Minister of Canada, Sarina Taylor. This episode, like all the others, is brought to you by my very good friend at Dr. John Pierce at agelessforever.net, concierge medicine at its very finest. So let's get right into it. You want to hear a joke?
Yes. Don't we always start this with a joke?
Yes.
Okay.
Two people are in a radio broadcast booth calling a hockey game.
I have a feeling this is real.
And they're going along and buzzer sounds, and one of the guys dropped something.
Off the air, by the way. The game was not at the time. It was a commercial break.
So one of the guys dropped something, right? And the guy sitting next to him, being a funny guy that he is, says, "Hey, while you're down there, why don't you blow me?" And he gets suspended for 2 games because it wasn't a commercial break and the mics were hot. Do you know who we're talking about?
Oh, yeah, I know for sure because
Right?
I saw it.
Saunders, Philadelphia Flyers.
Yeah.
Now, your humble host here is a very, very staunch advocate for free speech, right? And clearly, by the way we handle our podcast, we don't do much editing in what we think or what we say. I understand that it's broadcast radio, but Jesus, they have hot fucking mics on the ice and you hear players saying the most obnoxious things. They give the guy two nights off because he made a joke. But let's be honest. If you and I were doing radio and I dropped something and you said, "Hey, while you're down there, would you blow me?" I would say yes.
And you probably would.
Yes, I would. And I would be enthusiastic about it, for the record.
Here's the thing, though. The reason there is a difference because I have years of experience in radio.
That's why we're talking to you about it.
And the thing is, though, and it's weird to say this because you're in a family environment. When you're at the rink, it's not okay. Like, it's not that you hear a lot of F-bombs on the mic and whatever, but when something like that is said by a player, it's because it happens in the moment. You
don't think the blowjob count that was you think he planned it?
But that has nothing to do with raw emotion coming out. Listen, I worked with a broadcaster that was a football broadcaster and hockey, and he got the words punt and kick crossed live on the air.
Love him. Can we have him on the podcast?
No, we can't.
Okay.
It happened to him twice. He was not suspended because he didn't mean to do it.
Yeah.
When you literally say, "Hey, while you're down there, why don't you blow me?" That's
egregious.
It's a little much. It's like, I don't fault the guy. I mean, it happens. Like, I've seen there was a Canadian broadcaster named Roger Millions. He used to work for Sportsnet, and he was doing a stand-up in Vancouver, and he was trying to say a player's name, and he goes, he screwed it up. So he goes, "Cocksucker. I knew I was going to screw that up." And they never cut it out. And they played it. And that is the job of the
engineer.
Yes, because it wasn't live.
Right.
Right. So, but this, when you're like, you make a choice as an adult to say something. So if somebody came at us about something we said, that's their opinion. This is our podcast. We can say whatever we want, but we use F-bombs and we use whatever. But that's a little different. I would never say that to you live on this podcast because I think it's inappropriate. You know what I'm saying? You would never say that to me. I would deck you live on this podcast, right?
Okay, Mateus, mark that down for the next episode, please. We're going to see if we can have a fight.
No, but you would never say that to me on this podcast.
No, of course
right,
not.
Because it's inappropriate. And so that's the difference between a player dropping an F-bomb and somebody who has the wherewithal. He is a broadcaster. It is his job to not say stuff like that.
Right. But it was an innocent mistake.
It wasn't a mistake, though. You are aware of what you're saying.
No. But the mistake was that he's been a broadcaster for 37 years. They have a routine. They go to break basically at the same time every intermission. I think the producer who didn't cut the mics was the guy who...
No, 100%. You have to, but you always, when you're in front of a mic...
you have to be mindful of hot mics.
Yes.
I get that.
Yeah.
I do, but I mean, and the funny thing is, and you'll know it, but the fans won't. Do you know who Todd Fedoruk is?
Yeah, of course.
You know how many fights Todd Fedoruk had in the NHL? Over 100.
I was going to say a lot.
So 37-year Tim Saunders,
Yeah.
who probably couldn't tie his skates, told Todd Fedoruk to blow him.
Yeah. Well,
I mean, no, I just thought it was ironically funny that he was a really tough cat.
it was so casual.
Yeah, it was just like,
Hey, while you're down there.
have at it there, Holmes.
Yeah, it was funny.
I
mean, it was. I'll always defend broadcasters most part.
I
but
just now they cuss on regular over-the-air television docudramas and medical series
listen,
it
blows my mind that when Schitt's Creek came out, the CBC.
I don't even know what that is, but just because it's named Schitt's Creek, I'm totally a fan of it.
Wait a second. How do you not know what Schitt's Creek is? Okay. Anyway. Oh boy. Okay. Schitt's Creek is a Canadian Broadcasting Company television show.
Okay.
But it blew up all over the world. It's a huge show. But when they drop F-bombs and they do all that stuff, and I remember the first time I was watching
broadcast TV or cable.
I don't know. It's all over.
It's everywhere.
Yeah, like you'll find it everywhere. I think it's on Hulu.
Okay, so kids have easy access to it.
Yeah, but the CBC never had any programming that you could swear. You could never swear on the CBC, no matter what show it was. They had nothing with swearing. And all of a sudden, Schitt's Creek came out. People were dropping F-bombs and whatever, and I was blown away that the CBC would have that on there. But it's just kind of the way the world goes right now. But the while you're down there, blow me thing, that's a little different.
All right. Want to hear another joke?
Sure.
Toronto Maple Leafs.
Oh.
Last in the East, and, they made a big move yesterday. Did you see that?
Firing, what's his name?
They fired the power play coach.
Yeah.
That's similar to if somebody cuts open your face and you put a Band-Aid on your finger. That is the dumbest fall guy maneuver. They got to get rid of Chief, and they probably got to get rid of Tree Living too. This team, and we're gonna talk about the player who's no longer on the Leafs, obviously, as we continue to make fun of them. But this is getting to be absurd. 12 for 90 on the power play. You still have Austin Matthews, still have Willie Nylander. Don't have that player, but I mean, come on, seriously? You fire the power play coach?
Are you going to let me cut loose on this?
Yes, that's why I fed it to you with a spoon.
Oh, okay. Listen, first of all, I just don't ever feel good when something like that is happening to any team, regardless who it is. It sucks.
I feel worse for him than I do for the team.
Here's the real reason. The reason is not Craig Berube. The reason's not Brad Tree Living. There was a culture problem there the past 2 years. So what did they do? What did the Leafs do? They let Mitch go. Yay. Mitch is all probably like, phew, right?
Two bad we can't ask him and get the honest answer to that bad boy.
I don't think he would ever even say.
No, I know.
But, and now then they strip Tavares of the captaincy. Why on God's green earth would you take the captaincy off of a Toronto-born Canadian and put it on an American who hasn't done anything to provide leadership for that team and expect them to win? I said it when Matt Sundin was their captain. They're never going to win the Stanley Cup with a European captain. They're certainly not going to win it with an American captain. I know even you would agree with me. Even Americans agree with me. Why would you take the C off of Tavares, who's a Toronto-born guy?
I wouldn't have taken the C off Tavares and given it to anybody else, because he's a proven leader, regardless.
Exactly my point.
Regardless of where his replacement came from, and Matthews came from the great American hockey hotbed, Phoenix, Arizona. Said no one ever. But you don't have to be the best player to be the C. We talked about this just a couple episodes. Mark Stone versus Jack Eichel. Jack Eichel's the best player. Mark Stone's the best fucking captain in the locker room, 100%. Bar none. If anybody wants to argue, come on down, Daddy's ready.
Well, okay. The intensity's gone. You need a leader. So your captain obviously needs to be a leader in the dressing room, which a lot of us, we don't see sometimes that stuff, right? We hear it, but we wouldn't see it. But we hear different things. And we know Mark Stone is a great captain here. But Mark Stone also works his bag off every single shift. Jack Eichel doesn't. He doesn't have to. It's a different thing. I'm not bagging on Eichel here. I'm just saying this is the difference. Tavares works his ass off. He still makes great plays, and Matthews really just doesn't. And I don't understand. I didn't understand that. But any of my friends who are Leafs fans, last year they were pissed off when Mitch was still there. And everyone knew Mitch was the fall guy. Now Nylander's the fall guy. Why isn't Austin Matthews the fall guy? Like, what did I say about somebody else? I'm like, oh, we were talking about Ding Dong, Quinn Hughes. You are the captain. It is your responsibility to carry the team. You can't look back and go, oh, you're the captain. It's the same thing with Austin Matthews. He's the captain. It's his responsibility to turn this around. So I said it 2 months ago. Craig Berube is probably on the bubble because of everything that's going on. But you can't just cut a player loose. That's why the coaches lose their jobs. Doesn't work like that with the players.
Do you have a lot of friends who are Maple Leaf fans?
Oh, fuck yeah. I mean, I'm from Canada. You got to remember growing up, there's only two.
It's almost that time.
There was only two teams in Canada for a long time growing up. So a lot of people are mostly Leafs fans or, there's some Habs fans, but it's not, but there's it filters down in your life, And so, yeah, there's other fans, but
I know that you are expecting either an autographed Braden Bowman jersey or a sushi date with a Zamboni driver for your birthday. But instead, I thought I would get you something a little bit more personal for your birthday.
Hey, Sarina, happy birthday. This is a cameo book by Eddie Rivkin. Yours truly, Rick the Thick Rally. Let's go! Turned 47 on December 25th. Ooh, Christmas Day.
This is so
Maybe
great.
spike that eggnog a little bit, eh? Sarina, you were born and raised in Saskatchewan. Fucking A, prairie girl. My girl's not originally from this country, and we moved from Ontario to Alberta, and I was like, yeah, we're in the prairies, now we're in fucking Canada. You know what I mean? It's the hard Canada, baby, the prairies. You're a former play-by-play announcer for the Swift Current Legionnaires. What a nails nickname right there, the Legionnaires. As in the Legion? Fuck,
See,
I love
knew.
myself a Legion.
He knew.
I hope that's what that nickname's from, because, yeah, I've had a couple fucking greasy nights at the Legion. You hate the Flames the most, followed closely by the Canucks. So there isn't an actual, who you're a fan of necessarily, but I'm assuming you're loyal to the Oil if you hate the Flames and the Nucks. And I actually did, my daughter's 2 months old, I did buy her fucking Oilers baby tarp. I did also buy the Leafs one too, but that one, yeah, that's going to be, used to wipe her ass. But, yeah, I'll let her be an Oilers fan, eh? Why not? I mean, I'm assuming you are. Thinks Florida Panthers fans are shit. You lived there before moving to Vegas this summer. So I actually got to show you some right here. I get shit sent to me from Fanatics sometimes. Look at this right here. I don't know if you can see with the camera. Fucking Florida Panthers Winter Classic gear. You know what? Actually, I'm probably going to use that to wipe my daughter's ass. Worship the Great One, eh? Fucking Wayno. I actually drive on Wayne Gretzky Drive.
Fucking
they
right,
have
he
it
does.
out here in Edmonton.
Yeah.
Every time I fucking drive down there, I'm like, beauty. You co-host the Hockey Nights in Vegas podcast. Oh, with Eddie. Fucking go. You currently have a crush on Braden Bowman and your Zamboni driver. So, yeah, Braden Bowman, that guy's a nail gun, dude, from fucking Kitchener, Ontario. You know who isn't, though? Mitch Marner. Hey? Fucking how you feel about paying him 12 bananas? You like your Zamboni driver. I don't know, I was going to say something kind of greasy, but it was just going to be a joke. I was going to say, well, maybe you go for a fucking ride sometime. But yeah, anyways, bud. You'd love to be a guest on your pod? Or you want me? Yeah, fuck, I'll do it. Let's go.
Fuck yeah.
Yeah, just shoot me a DM and we'll do it. I hope you have a good Christmas and, you tip fucking for you on your birthday.
That was fantastic.
How's that?
Thank you so much. That was the best birthday gift ever.
How about that? Look at that. I fucking did something right lately.
Oh my God. Eddie's been telling me for probably at least a month or 6 weeks. I can't wait for your birthday. I got the best gift lined up. Is that what that was?
Yeah.
Oh, He's so funny. Do you see? Okay. The other night I was in California. I was at my girlfriend's house and my dad called. I have 2 stories here, but I'm getting to the point. My dad called. I'm like, my dad knows I'm in California. It's strange that he would call because he would never bother me. That's how he is, right? So I'm like, I better answer it because he probably needs something. I answer it and I can hear him pissing himself with laughter. So I put him on speakerphone. My girlfriend has never heard my dad talk. We've been friends for like 15 years. She never heard. He was laughing. He goes, "Jeez, fuck, Sarina, that fucking McDavid." He tells me this whole story about Connor McDavid because obviously I wasn't watching the Golden Knights game because I don't watch the Oilers. And he's like, "I know you don't watch, but that fucking McDavid, he's so good and this and that." He was laughing. He was swearing. He was doing all these things. And we get done with the call and my girlfriend is like crying. There's tears running down her face. And she's like, "It all makes sense now. It all makes sense why you're the way you are." That guy, he is a Canadian. That's how we talk. He knew immediately that I was loyal to the Oil. See how he knew that? He fucking knew. And when he was like, when we moved from Ontario to Alberta, we were in Canada now. He knows, he gets it. The prairies are a lot different. Kids from the prairies are stronger and tougher than the other kids. And that, I just love that he knew that. But that, oh my God, Eddie, that just made my day. Thank you so much. That was fucking awesome.
So while you're down there, you want to blow me?
First of all, we got to get him on the podcast now.
He said he's in. All I got to do is send him a DM. We'll have him on for January.
He was, that guy, man. What I think is hilarious is that, like, people that probably watch this that are not Canadian, because I know we have some Canadian viewers that watch, but people from around here are probably like, like I'm a lunatic, right? But that's how we are up there. That's how we talk. That's how we act. Like, hockey is 100% of our vibe all the time. And I love he was wearing a Petro-Can hat. Like, Petro-Canada is the
oil company.
Yeah. So he always wears a Petro-Can hat or whatever. But that is hilarious that he just gets it. He's like, "I'm going to wipe my ass with it." I'm like, "Zach, wipe his daughter's ass with the Panther stuff." He knows. He gets it.
Happy girl?
Oh, that was so great. Now you have to send it to me so I can watch it on repeat.
Oh, yeah.
Fuck.
Absolutely.
I'm going to message him and thank him because that could not have been any better. He's like, "I drive on Wayne Gretzky Drive every day." Guys, Edmonton, the streets are named after. There's Mark Messier Street or Drive or whatever. I mean, this is a real thing. Like, Wayne Gretzky Drive is by the old rink. Yeah, everybody's loyal to the Oil there.
I guess we should say congratulations to Sidney Crosby.
Listen, that guy, honestly, it couldn't happen to a better human being. Crosby's a good guy. He deserved it. He's a Penguin through and through. And I think if Mario was going to have anybody pass him, it was Sid. I'm really happy for him. I think that's great.
Well, I fucking hate him because I'm a Red Wings guy.
Yeah.
And
I mean, I'm not
we got him once. He got us once, but, still. But it's pretty impressive. He's 1,724 points, 20-some years. He never had a chance to talk to him. Every time he's come here, I don't go to the visitors room too much. But, it really is a staggeringly good accomplishment for the generation before McDavid. For that, he's that generation's player, and there's no doubt about that. So congratulations, Sid.
It's amazing.
Enjoy your time in Montreal when they trade you at the trade deadline. But shit happens, and you might get a run for the cup. Do you know what Festivus is?
Yeah, from Seinfeld?
Right.
Yeah.
It's the time.
Or
It's the time of year where you get to air all your grievances. Right?
Okay. So I'm not Jewish, but
it has nothing to do with Jewish.
I thought it was a Jewish thing.
No.
Well,
it's a made-up thing, like Seinfeld.
Okay, yeah.
So I'm going to give you the opportunity right now to get some things about the NHL or the Golden Knights. If you'd like to vent some... if you're unhappy with some stuff, just sort of,
oh my God,
just, take a deep breath and just sort of, let it rip.
How long is Festivus? Like, I need a week for this. I don't want to put words in his mouth, but Bruce Cassidy, I think, was talking the other day about, he was a little frustrated a couple of times over the last couple of weeks with the officiating and just how it is making a difference. Like, he's not saying that. I'm just saying, like, the overall
He's saying without getting fined.
Yeah, correct. And he's voicing his opinion, and more coaches need to do that. We've all been complaining about the officiating and the different things. And yesterday, when I was in California, I stopped at a friend's place because she was making some pierogies for Christmas. So she goes, "Do you want to stop by and help?" And I was like, "Absolutely." So we were making pierogies, and her grandson is 4, and he's a really big hockey fan, but they're not a hockey family. And she's like, "I need you to explain certain things to me." And she was asking me some questions, and I'm like, I honestly don't know how to explain that. Because she's like, how come?
What was that?
It was certain things like, she's like, how come sometimes guys will get a penalty if they hit a guy into the boards and sometimes they don't, or whatever it was. She said it was like penalty related. I was like, that's a great question. I was like, well, I kind of explained boarding and charging to her, which are obvious things. But I'm like, sometimes a guy can cross-check the shit out of another guy in front of the net and not get a penalty. And then the next time I can tap you with my stick and get a hooking call. How do you explain that to somebody who doesn't know anything about hockey? I don't even understand it. Right? So I don't love the officiating thing. But I say that all the time. I think the Golden Knights probably wish they could have the weekend back. To be fair, I watched the Calgary game until it was like 5-1, and I was like, I'm not watching this anymore. And Calgary, to be fair, they actually played pretty well. They were good, and I knew like Edmonton was gonna, somebody messaged me on Instagram yesterday or Facebook or something. He's like, "Can you believe that the Knights lost 2 in Alberta?" I said, "Yes, I can. I can."
They're missing 4 Olympians. I can see it all day and all night.
They're missing players, they're whatever, but also like Calgary and Edmonton have been playing well lately. So when you go on the road and you got to play 2 back-to-back games in Canada, that can't be easy. You fly up there, bang out a couple games, come home, and it's not easy playing back-to-back nights, in Canada, in the hockey hotbed, Alberta, right? And there's no way that's easy, no matter how you slice it. But it happens too. I think that the Golden Knights, like we talked about, they were doing good on the road. It's different when you're on the road and you play 4 games in like 10 nights or whatever it was when they were on the road.
5 and 10.
Yeah. When you go 2-2 in Canada and then you fly back home, or you fly up there, bang them out and go back, it's just a lot different.
Well, we're definitely going to talk more about that when we get to the Golden Knights section of this adventure. Anything else you want to chat about? I'm down on the Department of Player Safety.
Okay.
There's muggings going on, and they're not being addressed. I sent myself an article. You know who the first director of player safety was?
Oh,
Shanny.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Brendan Shanahan.
Yep. Mm-hmm.
Right. First year comes in with an iron fist. 91 suspensions and fines. This fucking buffoon Peros comes in, 49 last year, 19 so far this year. I understand getting the headshot out of the game. But if you're not going to adjudicate these fucking savage attacks on people and punish the people for doing it, how do you stop it? I mean, this is insanity. Besides Mikko Rantanen, who got the suspension automatically because he got 2 games in less than 2 days, basically. I've seen checks from behind where people almost are decapitated, cross-checked across the shoulder blades, head first into the boards, and it's not even a fucking hearing. They're not. They can only fine them $5,000. I think that's the limit in the CBA, 5,000 something or other. These people got to start missing games, right? I know George Peros was a tough fucking customer, right? I get that. But his fucking eggs are fucking scrambled because he's not doing his job and people are getting hurt. And not only are people getting hurt, superstars are getting hurt. And the game will suffer if superstars. There is that code. People don't really take runs at McDavid. They don't really take runs at Sid and stuff like that. But there's a difference between policing yourself and still having the goddamn police force out there who's going to fix stuff if stuff isn't right. And this is bananas, and it's getting dangerous, and homeboy needs to lose his gig, and they need to put somebody in there maybe who wasn't a player, who doesn't have that instinct of a player, who is more likely to say heat of the moment or whatever, however he justifies it. But the game to me is unintentionally dangerous. That's my one. My second one came up today. I was listening to the network like I do because I'm a degenerate. And we were talking, the Olympics is the subject. Players playing in the Olympics. And I can't remember which French goalie was on the show. But he was saying if he was 70% or 80% and he was invited to the Olympics, he would absolutely go. I understand the concept of international play, playing for your country. I do it. I was never good enough to play for America, for USA or anything like that, but I was around a bunch of kids who did. And I understand the allure of it, and I understand the allure of the Olympics. But you know what? Bill Foley writes their fucking paycheck. And so do the other 31 owners of these NHL clubs. And they're spending millions and millions and millions of dollars. And for this fucking down and out fucking goalie saying, I'd go no matter what, even if the team suggested or said, we don't want you to go. That's the ultimate insult to me. Because I haven't seen the IOC write a check ever. I haven't seen Bill Foley write a check, but I'm assuming the players are getting paid. And they're getting paid pretty handsomely. I guess that makes me more of a team guy than a country guy. But I think I'm okay with it. I look at Shea Theodore in the Four Nations. Shea has injury issues. Always has. Going through it now. Got injured the first shift or early in the first game of the Four Nations. Missed 20-some games. God forbid. And listen, I'm not going to lie. I'll watch every one of those Olympic hockey games if they actually go and they play. But I'm concerned, and I just think there has to be some way to mitigate it, to make it. I can't imagine. Can you? Well, let's just go with McDavid for conversation's sake. If he gets blown out by the Latvian defenseman whose full-time job is a baker baking pierogies in Latvia, and he misses the rest of the season. I mean, what do you think about players for country versus players for their job?
I had this conversation multiple times at this time last year. I was the one person that was saying that the Four Nations is stupid. This is the fucking dumbest thing we could possibly do. They knew they were going to let the players play at the Olympics this year. So why did we feel the need to have a Four Nations last year? 2 weeks, the middle of the season, I said the same thing. I go, realistically, Edmonton is a cup contender, and if something happened to McDavid, I would murder somebody. Because, I mean, yes, I obviously want my Canada to win, and I'm a country first over anything person, but it has to make sense. Now, the Olympics are every 4 years, and going on your topic about, it was probably Marty Biron or somebody that said about.
That's exactly who it was, yeah. Martin Biron.
So the thing is this, my guess is that when it comes to the Olympics, Gary Bettman has to sign off on that, right? So
it's a negotiation with the players union.
Right. But that's my point about the players union. If the players union says, because they're in a union. So if the players union says, yes, we're okay with going, sure, if I'm Bill Foley or any other owner or general manager or coach or whatever, yes, it can be very frustrating, but they don't really have a leg to stand on if the union says the players can go. So that's why a guy like Marty Biron, I don't think it's them being disrespectful to their team. They have this opportunity to play for their country. But again, it just goes back to, okay, it was Four Nations last year. It's Olympics this year. Next year, it's supposed to be the fucking whatever cup of hockey, some shit, isn't it? So it's like every year there's something that they're doing.
Well, that's because the fucking All-Star game is microwave dog shit.
Right. But why is that? Because they tried to Americanize this fucking game. Back when the All-Star game was legit and it was a real All-Star game, it was 5-on-5, guys played. They changed. Now they don't even have it anymore because it's so bad. And so that's another sign that nothing's going for the better. So they don't have the All-Star game. They have a 2-week Four Nations Cup where a guy like Connor McDavid played more hockey games than anybody, I think, in the last 2 years. It's crazy. So not only did he knock out, he didn't get hurt, which is good, but I mean, his legs are blown out. The guy played, he had a 90-day break before playing again. Boom, full season, Four Nations Cup, playoffs, 6-7 games in the Stanley Cup final. It's too much. So guys are going to get hurt. And I'm with you in the aspect that I don't love that fact. But if the players union says this is what we're going to do, I don't really think that anybody else has an argument. Four Nations Cup was NHL related. This is Olympics.
Well, that was a spirited first section of today's episode, I would say. So I need to take a breath, have a sip of water. So we're going to hear from Dr. John Pearson. We'll be right back. I'm here with Dr. John Pearson. And if you watch the podcast, you've seen information about all different kinds of treatments and procedures and things like that are done here at Ageless Forever. I'm going to tell you the real story of me. And you guys see commercials on television for Ozempic and Wegovy and all these other things, and they tell you can lose this much weight or that much weight and how much money it is and all that other happy horse shit. This is going to be about me and my relationship with my friend of over 30 years. 2 years ago and change, on January 1st of 23, I weighed 340 pounds, and I didn't feel like there was much time left. I felt just horrible, and it's completely my fault. I disrespected everything about my being, but I decided that it was time to call my friend and talk about it and see, not if, I mean, yeah, if it could actually work, if I could get better, if I could continue to live and maybe live a good life. So I was basically 59 when I started at 340 pounds. I'm now 2 years and change into it. I'm walking around 235 pounds. I have never in my adult life felt better than I feel right now. And I owe this 1000%. There's no other factor involved in my wellness than the care of my good friend, Dr. Pierce.
What can I say besides thank you? I mean, those are powerful words.
I mean, tell them, I mean, be honest. Yeah. Tell them how bad it was when we started.
You know, was it bad? Yeah. You know, we had low testosterone. We had a lot of extra weight.
Cholesterol through the moon.
High cholesterol, blood pressure, immobility. You know, Eddie didn't, share with you, his, back issues and need for, surgical intervention there. But we attacked this, and I'll tell you, as we did, Eddie was a little, hesitant into, diving in head first. He put his toes in and tested the water, and then kept testing it. And we did a little bit more and a little bit more, but he stayed the course. And that's the key, is we just got a little bit better every day. And we used a GLP-1 medication with him. My goal is to use a lower than what's normally prescribed dose and try to titrate to effect. And the other way I'm doing it now, that we hadn't done with Eddie at the time, is I'm actually dosing it in microdoses throughout the week. So three injections a week at a much lower dose to keep a steadier state of the medication, so we don't get the nausea and the vomiting and the other GI upset issues. So we really reduce the risk for side effects and maintain appetite control. And then we had to work with our nutrition folks here to get Eddie to really believe in eating healthier. Because when I first talked to him he said, it's working well. I don't drink a whole 6-pack and eat 2 pizzas. I'm down to 2 Cokes and a half a pizza. And I said,
baby steps. It's all about baby steps, folks.
With Eddie, it's all still crap. So you're now absorbing more of it because it's going through the system slower. But now we've got him eating a lot healthier. And there's still work to be done. And that's with all of us. We all try to get better every day. He's following a good supplement regimen, good diet. He's beginning exercise, walking around with 110 pounds less makes life a lot easier. I remember we took a trip to New York, and we were walking to one of the games, and you slipped and fell on your knee.
Yep.
And-
On the grate.
on the grate. And I thought, oh man, because that, and you didn't get hurt, but we were on our way down with the weight. I think today it would have been we would have been just laughing about it.
Right.
But
In the beginning, it would have been
Yeah.
tragic.
disastrous. But I never forgot it because I was like, oh, geez, that had to hurt. I'm sure it did because you end up going home, called it an early evening.
Yeah.
But bottom line is, we have a lot of services to offer with weight loss. We can use medication. We have nutrition consultants here. We have hormone replacement for both men and women. We do peptide therapy for the right reasons, using great, good sources through U.S. pharmacies. So if there's things that you want to improve about with your health and wellness, please come in. Let's just sit down and talk and find out what it is you're looking to do. And I'll give you an honest answer of whether or not we can help your, but in most cases, I believe we can.
I mean, it's simple. This one's a little different than all the others. This is my truth and this is my story. And I'm going to spare you because I'm a kind, gentle soul sharing the before and after pictures because you don't need to see that, especially if you just had a nice meal. But you owe it to yourself, and I'm proof that it works. So if you want to feel better about yourself, it doesn't cost you anything to have a conversation. I mean, is there anything better than free and knowledge when you put those two things together? Pick up the phone. When you get one of the girls on the phone, say, you heard about Ageless Forever on the Hockey Nights in Vegas podcast. They'll set you up with a consultation. You'll just sit and talk and you'll share, and Dr. Pierce will tell you what he thinks he can do. And again, the end of all these is the same. You owe it to yourself to be the best you. And this is the way that I chose to do it. And I might not be around to do this podcast if I didn't, take advantage of the opportunity and believe in it and commit to it slowly at first. But now it's a lifestyle thing for me. I'm carrying the weight. I still could use a little bit less, but I'm not gaining the weight back. All that stuff that you hear about, when you get off of it, you immediately blow back up. That's happy horse shit. If you take care of yourself, you'll maintain it. So do something good for yourself. Do something good for your significant other, for your kids. All it takes is a phone call and a sit down. So that's what I highly recommend. If you have any questions, you want to talk to me about it, shoot me a message. Everybody knows how to find me. So if you're ready to take the first step, pick up the phone, call 702-838-1994. Any of the girls can take care of you. Your first appointment is on the podcast. Just mention to them that you're a fan of the Hockey Nights in Vegas podcast. Do something good for yourself. Pick up that phone, make the call. You'll thank me later. I know that. We're back, and this is the first of its kind episode for you and I. Did you know that? Of all the episodes we've done, wherever we were, we finally found our way back to fabulous Outbox Media down here in the medical district in Las Vegas. This is the first of a kind episode.
How so?
I'm wearing pants.
Oh, that does help.
I just thought I would share that
Yeah.
for you.
Let's be more specific, though.
I'm not wearing sweats.
Yes. Your pants actually have belt loops for the first time in a hot minute.
And a belt.
And a belt. Are you wearing a belt?
I am wearing a belt.
Beautiful.
Not bad, right? Okay, let's talk hockey.
Okay.
That was the weirdest segue probably ever.
No.
No. It wasn't even the worst for us.
Yeah, literally.
So we're doing this on Tuesday afternoon before we head down to the barn to see the Fighting Macklin Celebrinis, which has the potential to be pretty entertaining. The Golden Knights are in second place. They're 2 points behind the Ducks. They're tied with Edmonton, but they have, holy shit, they have 4 games in hand with Anaheim and 3 with Edmonton.
Anaheim's played a lot.
Right? I mean, the Golden Knights have only played 34 games. I think it's like the second or third lowest in the league. We know that's going to catch up.
I was going to say they'll catch up by the end of the year.
Yeah, that's going to come home to roost at some point. But they had such a good road trip. And then I suffered through most of the Calgary game and most of it looked like they brought a knife to a gunfight. And you could tell because we have gone through this. It's almost cyclical. We started out with when are they going to answer their fucking alarm clock and start on time? Then all of a sudden they sort of work their way out of that. And on that road trip, that 5 game, they were great in the first period. There were sporadically bad second periods. But now the ugly head of the bad start. I mean, how do you go down 4 goals 2 games in a row? Now, the point that you made in the first segment, Calgary is playing much better. And so is Edmonton also playing much better. But if you think you can spot a fucking team 4 goals in an NHL game and win, you're cuckoo for fucking Cocoa Puffs. I mean, it's like they got mugged. And it's not like they don't know what's in front of them. They scout everybody knows everybody. I don't understand if this is the hangover of the reality of no Jack and no Theo to go along with no Aiden Hill and William Karlsson. But Bruce was visibly frustrated with what was going on. It was uncomfortable to watch. I don't understand what happened. And that's weird for me to say because I usually have a fairly decent grasp of what's going on. But how can they be so bad in the first? And then I think the stat was they outshot the Edmonton and Calgary 32-8 in the third period, something like that. I mean, absolute boat racing kind of stuff. But you still can't chase 4 goals in an NHL game. I mean, what's your take on how we've pivoted back to the bad slow starts?
Oof.
Toughie, I know, right?
I feel like I've said this before, going back to last season, I feel like sometimes it's hard to put your finger on what is going on. We know in Toronto, it's a train wreck. It's a culture thing. It's all of this. There's no good leadership. There's no X, Y, Z. That's not the case here.
No, not at all.
Like, what in the fuck? And, you know, a couple years ago, we went through that with Edmonton. They were like 2-95, whatever it was, before they made a coaching change, and then they flipped. But the difference at that time was everyone was like, I was like going to slit my wrist the long way. I'm like, I don't understand what is going on. I can't bear this anymore. But everybody that I talk to, scouts, old coaches, whatever, they're like, Edmonton's going to turn it around. It's just a matter of time. That's not the way it is in Toronto. And here it hasn't been that long. So in Edmonton, it was like, there's a disconnect. There's just a disconnect. And Connor McDavid took it upon himself and said, listen, I played so many games last year and I trained way too hard in the off season. I burned myself out. My legs were tired, all that kind of stuff. He learned, you know, we move on. But here it was only 2 games. So it feels catastrophic because this team has never been a losing team.
I don't think it feels catastrophic. I think that it makes you feel uneasy because we went through, and this is as recent as last week's conversation, we went through the ramping up, right? How good a road trip they had. And Jersey played a really good road game when they were in town last week.
I said they're
because you've only been wrong once. I understand. Yeah. Right. I fucking remember everything. I got a body like an elephant, a mind like one too. But it makes you feel uneasy. Yes. I was hoping that Sunday's game would have been a measuring stick game. 2 fully loaded teams. That, you know, that's what you live for. You on a lazy ass Sunday night in December, you're getting 2 of the best 4 or 5 teams in the West. We didn't get that. The incredibly Canadian biased NHL network talked about what an incredible boat racing job Edmonton did, that and the other thing. But Edmonton was less than a shot away from blowing a 4-goal lead. So let's not poo-poo the Golden Knights just yet. There are some inconsistencies still. It looked like they're still. I mean, I can just imagine. Have you ever played Keno?
No.
In a casino?
No.
Okay. It's the same basic concept as bingo. Put a whole bunch of balls in a fucking barrel and you spin them around and you pull them out in a certain order. Keno is numbers. Bingo is different. I feel like when Bruce goes to the rink on game day, he literally has to just pull out bingo balls and decide who's going to play and who's going to play with who. I mean, this is, if they get through this and they don't sink too far and they get right, this is going to be an incredible coaching job that nobody talks about. Because he's literally fighting with one hand behind his back and one leg tied up. Because he doesn't know. I mean, they're putting Alexander Holtz in tonight. And if you've ever watched this podcast before, he ain't my favorite player. And they're taking out Cole Reinhardt, who to me has been more than good enough on the fourth line, doing exactly what he's supposed to do. But they ain't getting scoring. If it wasn't for the power play, these games would be they'd be tremendously bad. I mean, what do we do? Jack didn't skate this morning, means he's not in. Theo, they said now is week to week. Everybody's asking about the Olympics. I'm like, the Olympics? What about the fucking month and what about the 18 games before the fucking Olympics? What are we going to do about those? But are you worried? Are you worried about the Golden Knights' ability to ride this out until they start to get repositioned correctly?
Ooh, that's a good question. I may be concerned. It's definitely a question mark, because what you just said about Bruce is exactly right. I've never seen an NHL coach have to go every single game, like you just said, who the fuck is going to play today? Not that Bruce is like guessing.
No.
He knows exactly what he's doing. But my point is, there's so much movement in and out of the lineup with this team that it's hard to get going because there's always different guys in the lineup, but you have to put different guys in the lineup because they're not getting going. It's like that cyclical thing, like you said.
Tail wagging the dog.
Yeah. But we talked on probably the first podcast, I think, one of the first podcasts that we did. And you're like, this team's a cup contender. They're going to have the best power play in the league. And I was like, I don't know.
I'm not backing away from. They have one of the best power plays in the league. It went through a lull when Mark Stone was in the lineup, justifiably so. But right now, it's clicking, and they're not scoring necessarily at the highest optimum. But their power play passes the eye test right now, big time.
Yes, but my point about both of those things is that they are underachieving where I think they could be a cup contender, but I don't think they are right now. They don't have it. There's a disconnect. There's not something missing. There's a disconnect.
What's the disconnect?
I don't know. If I knew, I'd probably...
Well, why the fuck are you on this podcast if you don't know the goddamn answer to a question?
I bet if you ask Bruce Cassidy, what do you think is going on? Even he can't put his finger on it because he's like, on paper, it fucking makes sense. I don't understand. We're dealing with human beings here, right? We're dealing with human beings. At least you look at Toronto, you know what the problem is.
Well, structurally, we do know a little bit about what's going on. You know, they're not breaking the puck out. There's been very little sustained offensive pressure until the third period. There are noticeable negative trends if you really.
But they're capable.
Oh,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, they're more. They're absolutely more than capable. But is it just execution? I mean, the biggest problem to me is people are playing out of their positions now. And that's a fucking disaster.
Sure. All the things you just listed, though, shouldn't be the reason they're losing hockey games. Those are not.
What's the reason they are losing? What's the reason?
I don't know.
But if you put them all in a ball, they are the reason you lose hockey games.
But you see things like the other night when Riley Smith scored that goal against Calgary. Beautiful goal. Yeah, beautiful.
It was the best impression of Shea Theodore shootout move anybody's ever seen.
He was in the right place at the right time.
Finished.
Right. Boom. If you can capitalize on the Flames, they're not the most talented team. And Riley Smith saw that play coming a mile away. He was on it. Boom. But they haven't created the chances to do said things very often. They knew they could get on top of Calgary because Calgary's, again, they're not the best team out there. They're not great defensively. They knew they could capitalize, but then it just all went after that. And Calgary just flipped a switch for whatever reason and went in. But
Go ahead. Come on.
I watched the Henderson Silver Knights. They play with at least 3 times more intensity than the Golden Knights do. They play with way more intensity. I would like to see the Golden Knights play with more intensity. Calgary, when Riley Smith scored that goal, they didn't let it turn them. They turned around and they were pushing. Whenever some of those Canadian kids get to play on Hockey Night in Canada at home, it's a different vibe when you get to play on Hockey Night in Canada. And when the Canadian teams play, they just work harder on Hockey Night in Canada on a Saturday night. Calgary did not let off the fucking gas pedal. We haven't seen the Golden Knights do that the entire season.
Well, we haven't seen a 45-minute game. I think we've seen 40.
Sure.
I think there's been a couple times where they've had a couple dominating periods back to back. But we haven't seen,
I can't think of a game where I'm like, holy shit, the Golden Knights railroaded so-and-so. The whole game, they were just fucking pounding them. And it's like,
they gave it to Jersey pretty good the first game of that road trip, but it was only 3-0, but 34 to 15 shots, something like that. But it's far from the team that we expected when you and I started our adventure
100%.
together, right? And
yeah, even the Oilers game, they outshot Edmonton. Edmonton had more turnovers. Vegas outstatted them.
yeah, almost everything them statistically.
And listen, shots don't mean shit. Shots, you could outshoot somebody 85-5 and still lose a game, right? It's just part of the game. But it was when you're out shooting a team, you're like, okay, at least we're doing something, right? We're getting some quality shots away, maybe quality shots, maybe garbage shots, right? But I don't know. I see Mark Stone go out there with intensity every shift. Riley Smith plays like his ass is on fire for the most part. Braden Bowman's out there doing the same thing. A lot of guys are, but I think overall as a team, it's like I'd like to see a little bit more. Nobody's going hard to the net. That game against Calgary, nobody went hard in the corner. Nobody went hard in front of the net. Everybody was just kind of like, fuck, right? I didn't feel like there was a lot coming out in that game.
So what are you going to do to fix them?
Well, they can't get bag skated anymore because that's happened probably at least 12 times this year so far.
Would you like to explain to our audience what bag skate is, please?
Bag skate is if you have a shitty game and the next day at practice there's no pucks.
Ain't no pucks on the ice.
You're skating lines, whatever.
Wind sprints.
Bags. Yeah. So it doesn't happen very often because especially with the schedule this year, you can't bag skate. Guys, they have to have day off.
They can barely practice.
Yeah, exactly. So I was being sarcastic when I said that, but I think that Bruce is just looking because 2 seasons ago, I think it was the year after the Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup or the year after, I was in Florida and I saw, it was Paul Maurice. So it was last year, whatever. He was like, everybody's freaking out. Everybody needs to calm the fuck down. People were asking for his head. And he's like, everyone just calm down. It's going to happen. And so people are like, why is he jumbling the lines? Why is he did it? I'm like, guys, wouldn't you rather have him try to figure it out 2 months before the playoffs than when the playoffs start? And I think that's what Bruce is going, okay, I'm going to figure this out now. We have to figure it out now versus waiting until it's too late.
Well, they have an opportunity. They've got 4 in a row at home. They got a little break after today, and then
3 days off.
You get three days full off, but then
go time.
Then it's Minnesota, Colorado back to back Saturday and Sunday.
No, I think it's 27, 29, 31, isn't it?
Maybe back to back games.
Yeah.
Maybe not back to back days.
Yeah.
But anyway, they're going to get 2 real stiff looks from 2 teams that are playing pretty well right now.
Yeah, Colorado's just been afraid.
Bruce just said it. We don't. You can talk about the league all you want. Just skip talking about them.
Yeah.
But the rest of us.
But, that's an opportunity, like you talked about against the Oilers. It's a good opportunity for Vegas to go, okay, what are we really made of? Minnesota's on a high right now. They've got Quinn Hughes.
They were until Colorado showed up.
Yeah, but, but they're going to play a couple teams that are going to come in here and be ready to throw down. Yeah. And even San Jose's not going to be fucking around.
No.
So
they're going to have to defend tonight because San Jose can score. They give up a shit ton.
They can skate,
but
though.
They skate, and the kids they move it pretty good.
And Yeah, I could go on about this stuff for days, but because
All right,
every
so
team is different.
So instead of doing that, why don't you plug the watch party?
Watch party. January 4th, we've got the watch party at the Space. Mark Chinook's going to be there. I'm going to be there. That's all you need to know. Doors open at 3. Game starts at 4. We're going to be watching Chicago, again, at the Space. Make sure you guys come check it out. It's going to be an absolute blast. And everybody's getting excited about it. And Stacy from the Ladies of the Night, I was going to say Ladies of the NHL, she does kind of all of it. She's like, please keep sharing those Secret Santa videos on the thing, because those are so great, and plug the watch party and stuff. And those videos have just been popping. People are obsessed.
It was really a shit ton of fun. And I almost feel like when they come back, we should do some follow-ups.
Yes.
Tell people. It's like we should tell Gosher how his video did versus Millard's.
Oh, I can't wait to tell them, because Braden Bowman has the highest views on my TikTok of all the reels, which excites me. But
How do they get to go to the watch party?
how do they get to go? Good question. I should
Thanks.
probably have mentioned
Kind
that.
of bailed your ass out on that
Yeah.
one.
Well, yeah. Realistically, as a broadcaster, I should be able to figure this out on the fly, but I forgot
Right.
that you have to be a Ladies of the Night Facebook group, Ladies of the Night group member, and then there's a link on the page or like a post or whatever that you can go and get the information, RSVP, all that kind of stuff for the watch party. You do have to be a member of the group. You can bring a significant other that is obviously not like a man, because they don't let men in the group. But that's where you go get all the information. So Ladies of the Night, you have to submit an approval request. You can say, you know me, or that I told you to come, or whatever, and go in there.
Okay. Speaking of those videos, the channel hit over 50,000 views, and this week alone, over 30,000 views. So I want to take a second and thank all of you. We didn't know what we were doing, and we didn't really know what to expect, but it was a lot of fun. I wish that we could have had a chance to talk to more players. Next year when we do this, we'll try to make reservations with Garrett in India to talk to just about everybody, because, poor Caden Korzak never got a chance to reply.
Yeah, if I could talk to two guys,
Jack and
Korzak.
For
And
sure.
Jack was sick and leaving and all that kind of stuff, and injury, whatever. No, we didn't even get a chance to see him. But everybody, I think, said that the one person they would not want to get a gift from was Jack, because they were terrified
of what it might be.
Yeah.
Even Mitch said, I don't know if I want anything like this.
And they said Korzak was the cheapest one. So we know some of the gifts that were got, but I want to get a follow-up for what everybody
I think
got.
we should definitely do that.
Yeah.
So thanks, everybody. Hit the subscribe button. We're doing really good with subscriptions, better than we ever had. The one Debbie Downer for the episode is we didn't really get any good comments this week. Nothing worth trying to.
That's okay.
But
it's okay. I'll post my Secret Santa with Carter Hart. That'll drum up some comments.
But if you want to win this limited edition Hockey Nights in Vegas Sippy Cup, Stanley Cup, what is it? What do they call these things? Tumblers? Something? It's engraved. It's very fancy.
Sippy cup
What?
for you. I like sippy cup. But a sippy cup doesn't spill.
Yeah, I spilled this already.
Yeah.
If you'd like to win one of these, we're going to have a contest. It ends January 1st, 2026. You have 2 episodes to make comments. We'd like them if they were somewhat relevant to something we've talked about on the episode. But if you're a wise ass and you really want to chirp at one of us, go ahead, have at it. Just know that Sarina chirps back, and you might not like the response. So the prize, a limited edition black Hockey Nights in Vegas Stanley Cup for the best comment. And if there's more than one, we probably will give more than one away. Hit that subscribe button. We really do appreciate it. This episode, like all the others, is brought to you by Dr. John Pierce at Ageless Forever. We're off to pizza and the rink, and we will see you next week. Thanks all for everybody.